Okay, in the decider that is there in Indore at the Holkar Stadium, India have won the toss and have opted to bowl against New Zealand with the series tied at 1-1. We all think that this is the best opportunity for India to ensure that they remain unbeaten because Indore has been a great venue for them. 7 matches, 7 wins, no losses. And the first major update that we can give you is that Prasidh Krishna is out, and in comes what everybody wanted, Arshdeep Singh. Arshdeep Singh has replaced Prasidh Krishna in the lineup, and India are bowling first in Indore. Shane, what do you think of this development?
See, I mean, Arshdeep coming into play, no surprise. I think it was something all of us wanted because again, he offers you two options: one, left arm variety, and the second, he can operate pretty much anywhere in the phase, any phase of the game. Really, that's one. Number two, generally, I think we've been wanting him to get a longer run in ODI, so better late than never that he gets it now in a very important game. And I think doesn't really surprise me that that's pretty much the only change that's made. I don't think there was much else to be fixed. Maybe you could have brought in someone for Jadeja, but given the other alternative is Ayush Badoni, I don't think there was much that was going to change over there. Nitish Kumar Reddy, after getting publicly criticized, by the way, keeps his place. Remember, Ryan Tenderstart had said in the press conference that people clamor for him to get a chance, and he doesn't end up doing an awful heck of a lot with it. That was his words, by the way, not mine. So no other major changes, which I kind of expected. But yeah, as for the toss decision, so that Indore has always been a very batter-friendly track. Usually speaking, you tend to get lots of runs. Remember, this is the same venue where Shubman Gill got his maiden ODI double hundred too. So there are runs to be made over here, and the due factor will usually kick in. Again, MP, you will have that. So it just makes sense to bowl first, know what it is you're chasing, and then go for it. So yeah, good call overall.
Yeah, I mean, see, it isn't as cold as it is. I mean, if you go further up north, about 200 kilometers, it is colder in Bhopal. But Indore is traditionally not that cold at this stage. So that's why there will be dew. I mean, let's make no mistake about it because of the conditions that is there. Dew will be there in Indore, but it will be an absolute belter of a wicket when you look at it because Indore 290, 300 plus is the norm there. And the last time India played there in Indore, they notched up a total in excess of 400. And Australia had to have a DLS score chase in that sense because there was rain expected and it did rain. And Australia fell short by a big margin in Indore. So that's why India at this point in time they have ticked the two boxes that is there. There's only one change in the entire thing. New Zealand have made no changes. They are sticking with the same lineup that was there for the second ODI. So this is the thing: Devon Conway, Henry Nichols, Will Young, Daryl Mitchell, Mitchell Hay, Glenn Phillips, Michael Bracewell, Christian Clark, Kyle Jamieson, Zachary Fuchs, and Jaden Lennox. These are your New Zealand team members. Apart from that, for India, Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul is your wicketkeeper. Nitish Reddy is at 6. Ravindra Jadeja is at 7. Harshit Rana is at 8. Kuldeep Yadav at 10. Arshdeep Singh at 10. And Mohammad Siraj at 11. So there are three major talking points. One, the last ODI for Rohit and Virat now, at least for the next 6 months. Then you've got this last ODI. After that, you'll have T20 World Cup preparations.
Hmm.
Now, the thing is, it has to be very important to note crucial game for Ravindra Jadeja. Many people are like wondering if Jadeja doesn't do well, is it the end of the road for him in white ball cricket? He may not get picked in ODI crickets at this point. So T20Is he's already retired. ODIs will be his last. Then he's only a red ball specialist. If Ravindra Jadeja doesn't have a good match, do you think it's the end of the road for him in white ball cricket?
I don't know if it'll be the end of the road, Sudhar, but I do know for the fact that if he doesn't have a good game, then those question marks are only going to get louder. I mean, we raised it after the second ODI. We weren't the only ones. There were a lot of people who questioned his effectiveness in the middle overs now because when a Kuldeep isn't getting wickets, then Jadeja will his containing role, dare I say, doesn't really work as often. Kuldeep's own poor form in the last game didn't really help. But I think the fact of the matter is there is an expectation that the Kuldeep is a match winner. He may have days which are not quite as great. What about Jadeja? Is he still that bowler who can chip in with wickets, or is he now very one-dimensional, wherein the only thing he will do is potentially get, keep a decent economy rate and nothing else? So in that sense, I do think the questions will grow louder. The team management may very well take a call. So I think it's a crucial game. Remember, it actually reached the point wherein Mohammad Siraj, when he came in the pre-match press conference, stated very clearly that no, I don't think there are no any doubts over Jadeja. He just needs one wicket to become a very different bowler. One would hope that those wickets come today, because if they don't, then the questions are only going to grow louder. So I do think that yes, it's a very crucial game for him to keep himself in contention, because we know that with Akshar, you get a much better batter because he can also float up and down the order. And bowling wise too, he has a little bit more penetration than what a Jadeja does. I'd say a lot more penetration based on his T20 form. So yeah, very crucial day for him.
Yeah. So crucial day for Ravindra Jadeja and vital day for even Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, because remember, they are always under the scanner, and Indore has been very good for them. And Rohit Sharma in particular has been in top form in Indore. He loves playing at this venue. Same with Virat Kohli, has a great record in Indore. So yes, the attention will be on them. And remember, last time they didn't have a good match. Both fell for under 50. I mean, normally if one doesn't score a 50, the other scores. But Rohit Sharma, the focus is on him a lot more because he's grown rather reticent. He's grown
Hmm.
rather reticent and conservative in this last couple of matches that have been there. So, is it the fact that, okay, maybe he's struggling to ensure that he gets going? Because remember, Ryan Tendescarte mentioned that both wickets that he played on were all new ball wickets, and that's why it was very difficult to get going. But Shubman Gill has gotten going with 250. So,
Hmm.
worrying sign for Rohit, or do you think, nah, it's just one, two, three odd games and then he'll come back to form?
I don't know. You could tell me how you feel about it, Siddharth, after I'm done. But I do think that I think this is just a small clip. I am really not concerned, though I understand what you mean when you say that the scrutiny is always on them. That's really been the case. It's been an unsaid thing that every time they get runs, they seem safe, and when they don't, then well, the Sharks come out to play. So I do think that he'd want or be keen to ensure that he gets some good runs in. Indoor usually is one of those grounds where it stays, comes onto the bat nicely, get some nice true bounce. So I would back him to get some runs there, maybe keep the demons off his back a while, because as you say, you're going to see him in action. After that, for a month, you'll see no Roko. And then after that, they'll be in action in the IPL, which is, well, it's always great to see. Also worth noting a different format, one that they don't play internationally anymore. Good for match rhythm, but that's pretty much about it. So I do think for Rohit, he'd be wanting to get a good knock. Not necessarily doesn't have to be new age Rohit Sharma, the one who looks to go and hit sixes from ball one. Could very well be that he just sticks around, gets his eye in, and then gets big runs later on, the way he did when he got those three double hundreds. We know that Rohit is a master of doing that. So I do think if he gets to spend some time in the middle, probably take a little bit of time, don't get rushed. They know how to score runs in this format. I think it's bread butter for both of them. But Rohit in particular, I do think would be keen to get in among the runs, because yeah, the returns haven't been great after the South Africa series, and he'd want to change that.
Yeah. The thing is, when you look at Rohit, yes, he is not going to be under any kind of scrutiny. Let's make one thing very clear here, okay? He is going to play in the 2027 World Cup. He is going to be part of an integral portion that is there, because July onwards, I think he might get into his groove. And if it's a flat wicket, if it's a belter, then I see Rohit Sharma going gung ho. Because let's make very simple points about it. Rajkot and Baroda, when you look at it, they were sluggish at the very beginning. But Indore will not be like that. Already, when you see, it's a chase. India will be chasing first, and that already puts the onus on them that yes, they might avoid a series loss. But then certain people are worried. For example, Priyanshu is like saying, Gigi Ira is notoriously famous for breaking good records. I am worried. The good record is India have never lost to New Zealand at home, and they have never lost in Indore. But is that going to happen? That is the one thing which we are looking at it at this point in time. I had to put one user in his place because criticism is all right, my friend, but abuse is definitely not on, and that is why I had to block him. So if you see this video that his messages have been blocked, I'm sorry, there was abuse directed, and that's why we don't tolerate abuse of any kind at this point. So basically, it is this whole thing that is coming from across the border that is the problem that we are seeing at this point in time. So yes, That is the
Across
thing.
which border I really have to ask that
East,
because
Eastern.
good.
You
Hmm,
you will understand where that is coming from. But Dev Pratap
absolutely.
Singh Chauhan also echoed Priyanshu's comment saying that in run chase, Virat's wicket will stand between an iconic series win for New Zealand. Jameson versus Virat might decide the series. What do you
Interesting.
think?
Could be right.
Yeah, but again, Jameson at this point in time, look, he was superb in Baroda.
Hmm.
He started well in Rajkot but didn't do well in the other parts. So that is why, okay, perhaps it is going to be very, very interesting as to how this pans out. So yeah, Virat Kohli versus New Zealand. Essentially, in a chase, that is it. Any New Zealand bowler at this point in time. So maybe can he get to century number 85 and then sign off the 9 match season on a high? That we have to look at it. And Anshul Abhinav is like asking, should Kuldeep have been given a rest and play four pacers? He seems to be very frustrated bowler these days. Kuldeep
I
has.
understand your point. Frustrated, no, but yeah, he's definitely like last match. I felt like there were times where he was missing his lines a lot, maybe due to the dew, because and not just lines, his length also. He was bowling it way too short often. I wanted him to toss it up, no? But the thing is, Anshul, I don't think him resting is an option because I don't think he's going to be playing the T20I series. There, it's pretty much established that Varun Chakravarti is your main spinner. So I don't think resting him is an option right now. You'll anyway be on the bench for at least 3 or 4 matches in the New Zealand T20I series. So I say let him play and just tell him that listen, you're a good bowler, focus on getting your basics right. With Kuldeep, the two things that always tend to work with him is when he flights it and he's using guile and more importantly, varying his pace. Last match he was very one note with his pace, almost Jadeja, as dare I say, wasn't slowing it, then making it fast. There was no mixing up of. And the second thing was his lengths were off. He needs to be bowling the attacking lengths to draw the batters into shots. I agree he's looked a little frustrated, particularly in the last game, but nothing that a little small talking to from a member of the coaching staff or the head coach himself won't iron out.
Yeah. And freaking awesome is saying spinners have done well in Indore. I think we should have gone with one more spinner. Lower order batting is too weak.
But
Yes,
again, who do you get in then? Badoni
yeah, that's the
in
problem.
place of Nitish. Hmm.
See, it's a simple thing. You have to swap the right batting position. Play Nitish higher, Jadeja lower. I think that sorts it out. That's one simple tweak that needs to be done. Because let us make one thing clear. You don't have to look out of your system. Maybe a small tweak in the system can ensure that, okay, you get the right results. Nitish is not a number six or a number seven. He's not a number seven. Let's make one
But
thing very
not
clear.
a number seven for sure. He's at best a 4, 5, 6 is maybe good work, but a seven definitely he is not.
Yeah, so that is the thing. Not playing T20Is is affecting Kuldeep Yadav's rhythm. That is what Shankar is saying. But then see, Kuldeep was shunted out after this Australia T20s because he had to play red ball. He had to be in red ball rhythm. That I
And he
found
played
difficult.
all the red ball games. Yeah, he played all the red ball games thereafter. So I don't know if lack of rhythm can be put down to lack of game time. I don't agree with that because again, if you're looking at it, he played the Test series. Don't forget, he played the Test series against the West Indies. He then
Yeah,
went to Australia, played the ODIs, played some T20Is, I think.
he
And
did.
then after that, yeah, after that was part of the South Africa test and the South Africa ODIs. T20Is, yeah, I don't think he played. But after that, also, you had New Zealand ODIs. So there hasn't really been that much of a gap. I will refuse to believe this that not playing one T20 series was responsible.
Yeah, but Dev Pratap Singh Chauhan, I think, has a thing. I think Kuldeep is insecure because Varun is already past him in T20 and now ODI is also Varun will become the first choice. I mean, if Kuldeep Yadav is put under pressure, we have often seen, I mean, KKR gave that example. If someone puts him under pressure, he then has a dip and it is very difficult for him to recover from that dip. It takes
I
supreme
understand that.
backing and confidence.
Yeah, I understand that, but you also have to understand that the way elite level sport works nowadays, there are few, if any, who are undroppable players. And even if you have someone who's undroppable, you need a backup to him. Should Jasprit Bumrah feel insecure if Siraj has a couple of good performances in ODIs? No, because he should know that, okay, when I get the chance, I will also put up similar performances and ensure that spot stays mine. If that is
Yeah.
the thing, then I think that is a small shortcoming on Kuldeep's end. And I said this even at his KKR time, and people panned me for it. I remember on socials and stuff. I said that if he's worried about a little bit of competition, boss, That's not a good thing. You cannot be undisputed number one. There's very few players who get undisputed number one status. So I think Kuldeep has the ability to do that. Absolutely. But you have to deal with competition also, especially in an Indian team where there is scrutiny. And actually, if you're looking at it, for Kuldeep, the only real competition is Varun. He only has one bowler to deal with.
Yeah.
Imagine, for instance, a Bumrah or even a Jadeja. You know for a fact that in Jadeja's place right now, you can play either an Akshar, you can play a Washington. If you want to go into domestic cricket, you've got an Anukul Roy who's done gangbuster numbers both with bat and ball for Jharkhand. There are plenty of players you can really pick. But full-time spinners, they're very few. Actually, only Varun is the one. I think he should be able to deal with the competition and be like, no, I'm good enough to keep him out of the team and maintain my spot. I think that's important.
Yeah, last couple of questions we come to the predictions. And Anshul Abhinav saying, whatever be the result today, I'm glad that I won't have to see boring bilateral ODIs for the next 6 months. Why can't we only play triangular and quadrangular ODI series? My goodness.
You know what?
Arsh,
I would actually like that. I would love that because I do think that in today's day and age, bilaterals are very meaningless because you've got ICC tournaments every year now. The relevance of them is going. So I would be interested in seeing some old school bilaterals. I don't know how, oh, sorry, some triangular quadrangulars. I don't know how interested the broadcasters would be.
if we are not interested in a bilateral, how will we be interested in a triangular or a quadrangular? Yeah. See, there will
Because
be a lot
there's
of.
stakes.
It used to happen. It used to
Yeah,
happen in the past. You had the Sharjah triangular, you had the Sharjah quadrangular, you had several series like that. But traditionally, when you look at it, at that time we only had two formats, ODIs and tests. Now with
exactly.
T20Is and with the window now shrinking for ODI so much, I mean, no nation is playing five or more ODIs in this particular time
Very
frame.
rare.
How on earth are you going to ensure that you get interest for a triangular or a quadrangular if he can't even go
See,
get past the bilateral?
I agree, but I do think that, say for instance, just hypothetically, if you had a triangular series right now with India, New Zealand, and Australia, just as an example, the
Mhm.
problem, actually, also another reason why I think triangular series and all are not as relevant now is because it's also of the division of the revenue pie.
Yeah.
If you have a bilateral, you know that even if it's on the lower side, whatever amount you are getting or making from the broadcast is being more or less evenly split. If a second team has to come into touring, then you're cutting the pie three ways. And that I think might be a little bit of a problem.
It is, it is. And the final comment is today we are seeing Shane Sir today in 2015 we saw freak genius Superman only 12 overs and an SA lost first wicket. Then came AB de Villiers next 44 balls, 16 seconds smash 149 when just 12 overs were left. I mean, yeah, today
Oh,
was that
that was
day.
a freakish knock. That was a
Ooh,
freakish knock.
indeed, indeed. It was one of the best knocks that I've ever seen. I mean, the way how that pink ODI, Hamla, Russo, and De Villiers all notching up and reaching 439. De Villiers in particular, 149 or 44. That same year, he notched up the fastest 150. He already had the
Yeah,
fastest
I was just
150.
going to come to that. I was going to come to that because I think it was in the 2015 World Cup only that he ended up smashing that record. I think 2015 level De Villiers was very different. How it is that in 2016 RCB did not win a title is beyond me. Having peak Kohli and peak AB in your team just showed how badly
Peak
constructed your
Gale.
squad was.
Peak
And
Gale.
peak Gale. Yeah.
Yeah. But imagine peak AB de Villiers didn't win a World Cup. Imagine. Even in that peak, he didn't win a World Cup. He had
That's what I'm
stage
saying.
when
Sometimes life and sport isn't fair.
I know. Manchester City will be knowing that a far more thing now after losing the derby
So
yesterday.
Manchester City shouldn't talk about fair. 115 reasons I can give you why.
Of course, of course, of course. So let's
Anyway,
go to
let's get to our
prediction.
predictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
You go
think,
first.
Shane?
You go first.
Um, tough one. I think India will restrict New Zealand to 295 and they'll chase it down easily.
I'm going to higher scoring. I think they'll get to about 317, 1-7. But
Oh.
I do back India to chase it down. So
Okay. Then that means in our Rocco going gangbusters today.
one of them will get 100 for sure. I don't know which one. One will.
Okay, okay. That'll be tough. So yeah, New Zealand are aiming for their first ever bilateral series win in India, but India are playing in Fortress Indore where they won 7 out of 7. Whoever wins this wins the series, and it's all to play for. So we'll be back with more updates on Sports Today, folks. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Bye bye. See you from me. We'll join you for the mid innings now. Bye bye.
Absolutely. Ta-da.